The barbecue that exposed everything, my wife's ultimate betrayal. My name's Chris, I'm 35, and I've been married to my wife, Emily, for 7 years. We've had a pretty typical life together, or so I thought. Emily works in marketing and has always been this driven, confident person. It's one of the things that attracted me to her. And, honestly, she knows how to charm just about anyone. She's got this way of getting what she wants, even when you don't realize she's working you over. Anyway, a few weeks back, we decided to have some friends over for a barbecue at our place. We don't do it too often, but it was one of those weekends where the weather was perfect, and we figured why not. Plus, it's been a while since we've had everyone together. I was looking forward to it, a chance to kick back with a beer, laugh with my buddies, and spend time with Emily. Our friends start arriving, some from work, others from college days, and a few neighbors who've become good friends over the years. One of the first people to show up is my buddy, Matt. We've known each other for years, practically grew up together. He's one of those guys who's always the life of the party, cracking jokes, making sure everyone's having a good time. As the day goes on, everything seems pretty normal. We're grilling, there's music playing, and everyone's having a good time. But I couldn't help but notice something odd. Every time I'd go inside to grab more drinks or check on the food, I'd see Emily and Matt talking. At first, I didn't think much of it, they've known each other almost as long as I've known him. But it was the way she laughed at his jokes, the way she leaned in a little too close. It was subtle, but there was this energy between them that just didn't sit right with me. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. I mean, we're all friends, right? But there was this nagging feeling in the back of my mind. Something felt off, like I was missing a piece of the puzzle, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Later that evening, as the barbecue was winding down and people started leaving, I found myself watching Emily more closely. She was her usual charming self, but there was this edge to her, like she was holding something back. I tried to shake it off, but the more I thought about it, the more uneasy I felt. And then, just as Matt was getting ready to leave, I noticed a moment between them. It was quick, barely noticeable, but I caught it. A look, a smile, something that felt too familiar, too intimate. My stomach dropped, but I still didn't say anything. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Confront them right then and there with nothing but a gut feeling? So, yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I can't stop thinking about it, replaying the whole day over and over in my head. Maybe I'm being paranoid, or maybe there's something more going on that I just don't want to face. Either way, I can't shake this feeling that something isn't right. Alright, so here we are. The weekend ends, and life goes back to normal, well, as normal as it can feel when you've got that uneasy feeling hanging over your head. I spent most of Sunday trying to shake it off, telling myself I was being ridiculous. You're just overthinking things, Chris, I kept saying. I tried to stay busy, cleaning up after the barbecue, mowing the lawn, anything to get my mind off what I thought I saw between Emily and Matt. Monday rolls around, and it's back to the grind. Work's busy, and for a while, I actually managed to forget about everything. Emails, calls, meetings, it's the usual blur of a Monday, and by the time I'm done, I'm exhausted. I get home around 6, and Emily's already there, sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open, probably finishing up some work. She looks up and smiles at me, and for a second, I feel this weird mix of relief and doubt. She seems so normal. Maybe I really was just imagining things. After dinner, we're sitting on the couch, catching up on some show we've been watching, when Emily turns to me and says, "Hey, you know, I was thinking, we had such a good time with everyone this weekend. Why don't we do it again? Maybe invite the same group over next weekend?" That feeling in my gut twists again. Why did she want to have everyone over again so soon? Normally, we didn't host people that often, and she's usually the one who complains about having to clean up after. But here she was, suggesting another get-together like it was the most natural thing in the world. I forced a smile and nodded. Yeah, I guess we could do that, I said, but my mind was already spinning. Matt would be there. Would it be like last time? Would I catch them sneaking those glances again? She smiled back, looking genuinely excited, but I couldn't shake the unease creeping up on me. I didn't want to seem paranoid, but part of me was starting to wonder if there was more behind her suggestion than just having a good time with friends. We talked a bit about the guest list. She wanted to invite the same group, maybe even add a couple more people. I went along with it, but in the back of my mind, all I could think was, what's really going on here? I didn't push the issue though. I mean, what was I supposed to say? No, let's not have our friends over because I think something weird is going on between you and Matt. That would just make me look crazy, right? Still, something about the way she suggested it, it felt off. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I couldn't ignore that nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach. I told myself I'd keep my eyes open this time. Maybe I was wrong, maybe there was nothing to worry about. But I wasn't going to let myself brush it off so easily next weekend. Something told me I needed to pay closer attention. So, the week rolls on, and I try my best to focus on work, but it's like this thought about Emily and Matt just keeps gnawing at me. Every time I glance at my phone and see a text from her, I wonder if I'm overreacting, or if I should trust my gut. Monday's suggestion to invite people over again, it just felt weird. By Wednesday, I'm starting to second-guess myself. Maybe I'm just paranoid. I mean, Emily's been acting normal, nothing out of the ordinary. We have dinner together, watch TV, go through our routine. But that one moment at the barbecue? I can't shake it. That night, after work, I come home a little earlier than usual. Emily's not home yet, which isn't weird. She's been working late a lot this week, prepping for some big client presentation. Or at least, that's what she told me. So, I sit down on the couch, grab a beer, and start flipping through the channels. My phone buzzes, just a notification from work, but as I put it down, I notice Emily's laptop on the dining table. Now, look, I'm not the kind of guy who snoops. I trust her, or at least, I want to trust her. But something about her laptop sitting there, open, like she just walked away for a second, makes me pause. I try to push the thought away, but my curiosity is winning this battle. I sit there for a minute, just staring at the screen, wondering what I might find. Then I tell myself it's nothing, probably just work emails or a shopping cart full of stuff she's been meaning to buy. But then again, what if? I don't even know what I'm looking for, but before I realize it, I've already moved to the table, sitting down in front of the laptop. I know her password. It's one of those things couples just know after years of being together. My hand hovers over the keys, and for a moment, I feel this wave of guilt. I'm about to cross a line here. But I do it anyway. I open her email, quickly scrolling through the latest messages. Just work stuff. Nothing suspicious. I let out a breath, feeling a little stupid for even thinking I'd find something. But then, just as I'm about to close the laptop, something catches my eye. There's a folder, tucked away in the corner of her desktop, labeled Personal. I don't know why it stands out to me, maybe because I've never noticed it before. Or maybe because it's the only folder that doesn't seem work-related. My heart starts pounding again. Should I open it? What if I'm wrong? What if it's nothing? But then, what if it's something? I click on it. Inside, there are a few random documents, old photos, some notes from years back. But one file grabs my attention. It's just labeled with a date from a couple of months ago. A day I vaguely remember because it was the weekend Matt came over to help with some house projects. I open the file, my hands trembling, and all I see is a string of messages. Between Emily and Matt. My stomach sinks. I start reading, scrolling through their texts, and at first, it seems innocent enough. But then, one message catches my eye, Emily saying, "Last weekend was amazing." It felt like old times. What old times? And what happened last weekend? I keep reading, my hands shaking, as more messages pop up. They're not outright explicit, but the undertone is clear. There's a connection here that goes way beyond friendship. Flirty. Familiar. And then, the kicker, I can't wait to see you again this weekend. This weekend. The barbecue. Right in front of me, while I was grilling burgers and trying to laugh with friends. I feel sick. Like someone just punched me in the gut. I don't know what to do. Do I confront her now? Do I wait until this weekend, see if I catch them in the act? My mind's racing 100 miles an hour, and I can't focus. I slam the laptop shut, sitting there in stunned silence. Emily comes home an hour later, acting like nothing's wrong. She kisses me on the cheek, asks me how my day was, and I'm just sitting there, my heart pounding in my chest, trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do next. This whole thing, it's not just in my head. Something is going on, and I'm not crazy. But now, I've got to decide how to play this. Saturday rolls around, and I can feel the tension building in my chest as the day goes on. Emily's been in a good mood all morning, bustling around the house, prepping for the barbecue. She's humming to herself while arranging food on the table, acting like everything's perfectly normal. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to keep myself busy, going through the motions, setting up chairs, firing up the grill, but my mind's spinning. It feels weird, like I'm getting ready for something other than just a get-together with friends. I'm watching Emily more closely now, studying her every move, every smile she flashes as she goes about her day. She's good at hiding things, that much is clear, but I can't help but wonder if she's a little too relaxed. Maybe it's just me being paranoid, but part of me thinks she's trying to act extra casual, like she's got something to prove. As I'm setting the drinks out in the cooler, I catch her looking at her phone, again. She's been doing that a lot today. Every time it buzzes, she checks it, then quickly puts it away like it's nothing. But I know better now. Guests are supposed to start arriving in about an hour, and I can feel the tension rising inside me. The barbecue is supposed to be a fun, easy afternoon, but I'm bracing myself for something else. I keep thinking about what I'll do if I see the same glances between her and Matt. How I'll handle it if they try to sneak off again. At one point, Emily walks over to me while I'm adjusting the grill, flashing her usual smile. "You good?" she asks, slipping her arm around my waist. I force a smile, nodding. "Yeah, just making sure everything's set up." "Don't want to burn the burgers again," I say, trying to keep the conversation light. She laughs softly. "You always worry too much about the food. Everyone's here for the company, not your grilling skills." I chuckle along with her, but inside, I'm tense. I can't help but wonder if she's talking about everyone's company, or just one person's in particular. The guests start arriving right on time. One by one, friends file into the backyard, carrying bottles of wine, salads, and desserts. The energy is light, easygoing, just like any other barbecue we've had. But this time, I'm hyper-aware of everything, scanning the crowd, waiting for that one person to show up. Matt. I try to keep it together, greeting people with a smile, offering drinks, but inside, I'm bracing myself for the moment he walks through the door. My mind is already spinning with possibilities, scenarios of how today might play out. Eventually, I see him. Matt strolls in with his usual laid-back confidence, carrying a six-pack and flashing that easy grin he always wears. Emily's on the other side of the yard, chatting with a couple of friends, but as soon as Matt steps in, I catch the briefest glance between them. It's quick, barely noticeable, but enough to make my stomach twist. I shake it off and walk over to greet him, forcing a grin. "Matt. Glad you could make it, man. Got the grill going, let's hope I don't burn these burgers like last time." He laughs, clapping me on the back. "Wouldn't be a barbecue without a little char, right?" We exchange a few more jokes, and I lead him over to the grill where the burgers are already sizzling. I focus on flipping them, using the heat of the grill to ground myself, but I can feel him standing next to me, watching. As I turn the burgers, I try to make small talk, keeping the conversation casual. But every time I glance up, I see him scanning the yard, like he's looking for something, or someone. And sure enough, a few minutes later, Emily walks over, smiling as she approaches us. "Smells great over here," she says, flashing that same bright smile, but this time, I'm watching her carefully. The way she stands just a little closer to Matt than usual, the way they exchange that brief, knowing look before she turns her attention to me. "You're not going to burn them, are you?" she teases, nudging me playfully. I smirk, playing along. "Hey, I've got it under control this time." But inside, I'm on high alert. The casual way they're acting, the easy laughter, it feels forced. Or maybe that's just me. Either way, I can't help but feel like something's brewing beneath the surface, and I'm just waiting for the moment it all comes to light. So I'm at the grill, flipping burgers and trying to make sure everything's perfect for the guests. The smoke's rising, the smell of the meat is filling the air, and for a while, it almost feels like a normal barbecue. Almost. But no matter how hard I try to relax, I can't shake the tension building in my gut. Every time I look around, I'm scanning the yard, keeping an eye on Emily and Matt. For a while, everything seems fine. Emily's chatting with some friends, laughing, just doing her usual thing. I'm distracted with the grill, making sure I don't mess up the burgers like I joked earlier. I hear bits of conversation, people mingling, having a good time. But at one point, I realize I haven't seen Matt in a while. I glance around, thinking maybe he's just grabbing a drink or using the bathroom, but there's no sign of him. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but that familiar uneasy feeling creeps in again. Where'd he go? And why didn't I notice him leave? Trying to keep myself from spiraling, I focus on the task at hand. "Hey, Em." I call out, trying to sound casual, "Can you bring me those veggies? I'm gonna throw them on the grill in a bit." She turns around and nods, flashing me a quick smile. "Sure, I'll grab them." As she heads inside, I watch her go, my mind racing. I don't want to believe that something's happening right under my nose, but I can't help but wonder. I keep grilling, pretending to focus on the food, but the longer she's gone, the more my mind starts running wild. Where's Matt? And why does it feel like everything's slipping out of my control? Emily comes back outside, balancing a tray of vegetables for the grill. She's all smiles, her usual charm on full display as she hands them to me. "Here you go, grill master," she teases, placing the tray next to the burgers. I give her a quick smile, though my mind's still racing, trying to figure out where Matt disappeared to. But before I can say anything, Emily suddenly perks up like she just remembered something. "Oh. I'll grab you some more beer, too," she says, loud enough for the whole backyard to hear. And just like that, the entire group of our friends chimes in, raising their glasses and yelling in unison, "Yeah, bring more beer." Emily laughs, rolling her eyes playfully at the chorus of demands. All right, hold your horses," she says, heading back inside with that same effortless grace she always seems to have. Everyone's still laughing and carrying on, but as I watch her disappear into the house, that knot in my stomach tightens. I'm trying to act normal, flipping the veggies on the grill, but all I can think about is what's happening behind closed doors. Was this just an innocent beer run, or was she using it as an excuse to slip away again? I glance around the yard, half hoping Matt will reappear, but there's still no sign of him. And now Emily's inside too. I tell myself to keep it together, that maybe I'm just overthinking things again. But that uneasy feeling won't go away. The burgers are almost done, but my mind's far from the grill now. Something's off, and I can't shake the sense that whatever it is, it's about to come to light. So I'm standing at the grill, finishing up the burgers. The smell of perfectly cooked meat is filling the air, and the veggies are just about ready too. The guests are still laughing and talking, but my focus is elsewhere. Emily's been gone for longer than she should be, and that nagging feeling in my gut is getting harder to ignore. I tell myself it's nothing, she's probably just grabbing the beer like she said. But as I pull the last of the burgers off the grill and set them on a tray, I realize it's been way too long. She should have been back by now. The guests are starting to ask for food, and I know I need to take the burgers over, but before I do, I decide to head inside. First things first, grab that beer for everyone, then figure out where the hell Emily went. I step into the house, expecting to find her in the kitchen, but it's empty. The fridge is wide open, and there's no sign of her anywhere. I stand there for a second, listening, but the house is silent. I grab a couple of beers and start to head back outside, but something stops me. Where is she? I can feel the tension building in my chest as I put the beers down on the counter and start walking through the house. My steps are quiet, cautious, like part of me already knows something's wrong. I check the living room, nothing. Then the dining room, empty. And then I hear it. As I pass the guest bathroom near the stairs, I freeze. It's faint, but unmistakable. Voices. And not just voices, low, whispered words mixed with groans. My heart skips a beat, and for a moment, I feel like I can't breathe. I stand there, my hand hovering over the bathroom door, listening. The blood pounds in my ears, and my mind races, trying to make sense of what I'm hearing. I don't want to believe it, but deep down, I know. Emily. And someone else. For a split second, I wonder if I'm imagining it, if this is just my paranoia playing tricks on me. But then I hear it again, her voice, mixed with a man's, and there's no mistaking the sound this time. Without thinking, I burst through the door, slamming it open so hard it bounces off the wall. And there they are. My worst nightmare, right in front of me, like something out of a bad dream. Emily, my wife, is bent over in the middle of the tiny guest bathroom, completely naked, her back arched, and there's Matt, my so-called friend, behind her. They freeze the moment I barge in, their eyes wide with shock. The betrayal hits me like a freight train, the image burning itself into my mind in an instant. For a split second, nobody moves. Emily's eyes are filled with panic, her mouth open but no words coming out. Matt stumbles backward, scrambling to pull his pants up, but I'm already moving toward him, fists clenched. You traitor! I roar, launching myself at him. I grab him by the collar, slamming him against the wall with all the rage and disgust boiling inside me. You were supposed to be my friend. I shout, my voice shaking with fury. How long, huh? How long have you been doing this behind my back? Matt doesn't even try to fight back. He's too busy stammering, his face pale, trying to pull together some pathetic excuse. But I'm not interested in hearing anything he has to say. I shove him again, harder this time, pinning him against the wall so he can't move. Get the hell out of my house, I growl through gritted teeth. Now. Before I do something worse than this. My voice is barely controlled, but I know if he stays another second, I'll lose it completely. Matt's eyes dart to Emily, who's still frozen in place, her hands covering her face in shame. He mumbles something, trying to plead, but I don't want to hear a word from him. I let go of his collar, shoving him toward the door. Go. I bark, and he practically trips over himself as he rushes out, not daring to look back. Once he's gone, I turn to Emily. She's standing there, still half-naked, trying to cover herself up with trembling hands. But I don't care. I don't care about her tears, her shame, none of it. Get lost, I say, my voice cold and distant. You too, Emily. Get out. I don't want to see your face. Ever. She looks up at me, her eyes wide with fear and regret, but it doesn't matter anymore. I've seen enough. The woman I thought I knew, the one I trusted, is gone. All that's left is this, stranger. And right now, I don't even want to hear her excuses. I don't stick around to listen to whatever she might say. I leave her standing there, broken, just like she left me. And as I walk away, the house feels emptier than ever. After what feels like an eternity, the house finally falls silent. Matt's gone, and I hear Emily's footsteps slowly fading as she leaves too, not saying another word. It's just me now, standing in the wreckage of what used to be my life. My chest feels hollow, like everything inside has been ripped out and replaced with this empty, gnawing pain. But there's no time to break down. Not yet. I've still got a backyard full of guests who have no idea that their casual barbecue just became the scene of my own personal disaster. So, I do the only thing I can think of, I grab the beer Emily promised and head outside. As I step back into the yard, it's like stepping into another world. Everyone's still laughing, talking, completely unaware of what just happened inside. I put on a fake smile, plastering it across my face like a mask, and start handing out the beers. Sorry for the wait, I say, trying to sound normal, my voice betraying none of the chaos that's eating me alive inside. A few people cheer when they see the beer, and someone claps me on the back, laughing like it's all one big party. But I can barely hear them. The world feels muffled, like I'm moving in slow motion, going through the motions just to keep from falling apart. Once the beer is handed out, I grab one for myself. Then another. And another. Before I know it, I'm just downing them, one after the other. I can't seem to stop. Each bottle is an attempt to drown out the images, to forget what I just saw, to bury the pain that's clawing its way up from inside me. But no matter how much I drink, it doesn't go away. It just dulls the edges, makes everything a little blurrier, a little further away. At some point, a couple of friends come over to check on me, laughing and asking if I'm okay. I wave them off, forcing a grin that doesn't reach my eyes. I'm good, I lie, popping open another beer. Just, enjoying the party. But the truth is, I'm not enjoying anything. I'm barely holding it together, and with each sip, it feels like I'm slipping further away from myself. The beer isn't helping, but it's all I've got right now. The laughter and chatter around me fade into the background as I sit there, drink after drink, trying to numb the crushing weight of betrayal. But it's always there, lurking just beneath the surface. The next morning hits me like a truck. I wake up on the couch, still in yesterday's clothes, surrounded by empty beer bottles. My head is splitting, the dull ache pounding behind my eyes, but the pain in my chest is worse. The events from the day before come rushing back in waves, Emily, Matt, the betrayal. I sit up slowly, running a hand over my face, trying to push through the hangover fog. My throat's dry, and my mind is racing, but I know what I need to do next. There's no room for hesitation. I grab my phone and immediately search for a divorce lawyer. I don't care if it's early, I need to start this process now, before I lose my nerve or get sucked into more of Emily's lies. I find a number, and within minutes, I'm on the phone with someone, laying out the basics of what happened. Yeah, I'm ready to move forward with this, I say, my voice hoarse but determined. I just want her out of my life. As soon as I hang up, I feel a twisted sense of relief, like this is the first real step toward getting some control back. But that relief is short-lived, because not long after, the front door swings open, and Emily walks in, her face pale and eyes swollen from crying. She must have heard about the lawyer. Word travels fast when your life is falling apart. Chris, please, she starts, her voice shaky, full of desperation. I'm so sorry. I messed up. It was a mistake, and I don't know what I was thinking. Please, just let me explain. We can fix this. Please don't go through with the divorce. I look at her, the woman I thought I knew, the one I built my life with. But all I can see is what she did. The lies, the betrayal, the fact that she didn't care enough to stop. It's too late for apologies, too late for anything. I stand up, my head still throbbing, but the words come out steady. Since you're already here, Emily, why don't you be so kind as to pack your stuff? Get out of my house. There's nothing left to fix. Her face crumples, tears starting to fall as she steps toward me, but I take a step back, keeping that distance between us. I'm done being drawn into her mess. She hurt me once, I won't let her do it again. Chris, please, she begs, her voice breaking, I'll do anything to make this right. But I'm not having it. You made your choice, Emily. You and Matt. Now you can live with it. Pack your things, and get lost. She stares at me for a moment, like she's searching for some shred of mercy, some sign that I'll change my mind. But there's nothing left to give. After a long, painful silence, she turns and heads upstairs. I stand there, listening to her move around, packing her things, our life together crumbling in the background. But this time, I feel strangely calm. This is the end of whatever we were. The divorce, surprisingly, went quicker than I thought it would. Maybe because after everything that happened, Emily didn't have much of a fight left in her. Or maybe she knew there was nothing left to salvage. Either way, it was over within a couple of months. I signed the papers, handed them back to my lawyer, and that was it. Just like that, 7 years of marriage reduced to a stack of paperwork and a final signature. The life we built together. Gone. It felt surreal, almost too easy, like there should have been more drama, more pain. But no. It was swift, clean, like ripping off a band-aid that had been festering for far too long. Emily, from what I've heard, isn't doing well. She's grieving, which part of me expected. I mean, how could she not? She lost everything, just like I did, only she's the one who lit the match that burned it all down. People say she regrets it deeply, that she's been trying to piece her life back together. But I don't ask for details, and I don't care to know more. She made her choice, and now she's living with the consequences. As for me, well, life goes on. It wasn't easy at first. I had to go through the anger, the sadness, all the stages of grief that come with betrayal. But I made it through, bit by bit. I threw myself into work, spent more time with friends and family, rebuilding a life that was about me, not us. I realized I had lost parts of myself during the marriage, buried under the weight of trying to hold everything together. Now, I'm focusing on getting those parts back. I've been working out more, getting back into hobbies I'd let slip away, and just taking care of myself in a way I hadn't for years. I'm not perfect, and some days are still hard. There are moments when the memories hit me unexpectedly, and the pain feels fresh again. But I'm healing, slowly but surely. I've learned a lot about what I deserve, about what I'll never settle for again. The thing is, life does move on. You think it won't when you're in the middle of it all, the heartbreak, the betrayal, but it does. It's like the world keeps spinning, and eventually, you realize you're spinning with it again. I'm still a work in progress, but I'm getting there. I'm stronger now, more sure of who I am and what I want. And as much as it hurts to say, losing Emily was the wake-up call I didn't know I needed. So, here I am. Moving forward.